Okay, so for this week, I have a question for you. Is that why the hell is your beard so big?
Really, that's
What
your question?
the yeah? What's wrong with you?
I mean, I'm actually planning to shave it off completely soon. So by next video, you most definitely would not see it.
Are you
Oh,
sure?
oh, 100%, man, you're not going to see it because the thing is with the pandemic, I things were closed for the longest time, right? So I couldn't go to a barber, and now that the salons are open again, I just don't want to
They
go.
are open again. The
Yeah,
quarantine is finished.
so we are opening stuff in stages. So they're open again, but I
Duh.
just don't want. Yeah, I just don't want to go back yet. I'm a bit
Why?
paranoid about this. I'm a bit paranoid about it.
Paranoid about COVID or paranoid about the hair thingy?
Why would I be paranoid about hair thingy?
Who
COVID.
knows? You're obsessed with hair, so I'm just asking.
I am, but I'm not paranoid about. I'm specific of how I want it done, but no, no, no. It's just the COVID thingy. Let the cases go down a bit more. It might just sound stupid, but I just don't want to go yet. So my hair and like my beard are exactly why they're so long for now because of the
Why
COVID
can't you
thing.
get a bloody shaver?
It doesn't have this. It doesn't have the same effect, or at least I'm a bit lazy. That's the actual reason
Yeah.
I'm lazy. Yeah, I'm lazy with that, and I would rather just go to the salon and get it done. That's why I don't want to do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back, guys, to another episode of Next Gen Talk. For those of you who are watching us for the first time, do check out our previous episodes where we talk about some of the weird, funny, and interesting stuff that has been happening in tech this year. So for this week, one of the biggest tech news that came out was the Verkada hack, where over 150,000 cameras of the company were compromised. That included Tesla factories, jails, hospitals. What do you think about that?
Quite interesting, isn't it? When you see, first of all, Workada, isn't it? Work,
Verkada. Some people
yeah,
call it Verkada.
whatever.
I'm calling it Verkada.
Yeah,
Yes.
whatever. So, it's a startup company that
Hmm.
has
Silicon Valley
serverless,
based.
Silicon Valley based, yeah. And first of all, what is Silicon Valley? People should know that Silicon Valley is the place where every big company is, such as Google, Facebook,
Yeah.
Apple,
Yep.
any other
So it's
big
it,
tech company.
it's the tech mecca of US, basically,
Yeah.
to put it simply.
A lot of startup companies start from there technically, so
Hmm.
it's quite a,
Right.
for us it's like our tech heaven, isn't it?
Hmm. Exactly. For anybody, like that's the ultimate place you can go as a startup as a founder in general.
So Workada had a startup company, and they have a lot of customers not only in US but everywhere in the world,
Around the world.
including
Yeah.
Australia. I'm not sure if there
Okay.
are some customers in Canada,
I'm sure they must be.
but the hack was so unsophisticated that it was stupid that it
Okay.
happened. The hack happened because there was a public facing page, like a web
Hmm.
page, that
Hmm.
included the username and password, an admin username and password, which is the super user. Okay.
So yeah.
And technically, once you have that, you can access all the cameras that are anywhere in the world.
Hmm.
Now, how creepy is that?
Extremely. And for me, the biggest irony is that Verkada is a security surveillance company, which is supposed to provide you security, and their own system got compromised. I mean, talk about bad press.
And
It
they have talked about privacy and all in
right.
their website and stuff, but when we purchase this kind of equipments, such as
Hmm.
security cameras and stuff, we think that the companies behind it are very rule following and are very strict about this, that no one can see the field except you,
Hmm.
or the company that owns it, or
Hmm.
technically you won't expect employees to be able to see it, let alone hackers. But
Right.
apparently, employees also had this kind of admin access. Now, just how crazy is that the cameras are located in jails, as you said,
Hmm.
gyms, um,
Hospitals.
hospitals, Tesla factory. I mean, a lot of places, even in Australia, they were located in childcare centers. Being able to access all these cameras, and not only that, the hack was done on Monday night and
Hmm.
it continued till Wednesday, which means that much of feed they were able to watch.
Hmm.
During that time, they also saw a man being handled in an hospital by six people, staff members. They also
Hmm.
saw a person being interrogated in handcuffs in a police station. So the amount of reach they had with this surveillance, I mean, like, not only that, they were able to access all the customer lists first of all.
Hmm. Obviously,
So it's quite creepy that you
it
cannot
is,
rely on a bloody security company, isn't it?
which is supposed to do like the one thing they were trusted to do and take care of. They messed
Messed
up there.
up.
But again, but I mean, jokes apart, it's really unfortunate that this hack happened. But at the same time, it shows the same human error mistakes that are common everywhere else. Like even though they're a security company and they're supposed to take care of everything, people saving passwords in plain text, which we have seen is a problem so many times. Like you take a note file and you save all the passwords
Save
there.
on, yeah,
So many big
username or
companies,
password, yeah, just because you don't
exactly.
forget or anything, yeah.
So many big companies have faced hacks because of stuff like that, or just giving any user, as you said, super access, which is
Hmm.
not needed at all. So I think it all comes down to laziness, not laziness at all times, but like not following all the protocols and practices that they should, especially that they're a security company.
One of the hackers claimed it, and he was
Hmm.
based in Switzerland, and he just said, "We only think that there's a surveillance going on throughout the world, but
Right,
we don't know exactly
right.
like how it is going on. But with watching this,
Hmm.
it actually gives you an idea that how much are we being surveillanced."
Hmm.
And one of the things about Verkada is that it has facial recognition technology.
Yes.
Okay, which means it can recognize gender, it can recognize through your outfit, it can recognize car plates and everything.
Hmm.
So it was a very advanced security camera which can recognize a person.
Hmm.
So you can only imagine that. And one other thing is that, and this is the fascinating part about all this, is that the two companies that were about to be hacked because of this hack, one was Cloudflare,
Okay.
okay, which is one of the biggest companies that stops DDoS attacks and stuff,
Hmm.
and Okta. Have you
Okay.
heard about Okta?
No, I like the name. Tell us more.
Okta is an identity management company which
Okay.
actually it's actually in it was in my previous university
Hmm.
for
Previous
student
university,
login.
Malaysia.
No, here.
Okay.
I mean, like my
Okay.
former university. So it is a student manage. It's actually identity management software that actually uses itself for student login and staff login, everything login related,
Hmm.
login credentials. So it's supposed to be a security company as well as provide identity management and stuff.
Hmm.
Now with that feeds, they could have seen the actual username and password there also. I mean, super admin access.
Hmm.
So the claim was that if we wanted to, the hackers' claim was that if we wanted to, we could have owned half of the internet. And they might be right. How creepy is that?
I don't even imagine. I don't even want to imagine what it would have looked like if, like, even something remotely like that would have happened.
Exactly. I mean, like, it's bloody crazy, but it's quite fascinating to see that how much are we being surveillance throughout the day.
On every level, like from your smartphones to your watches, like your data, your physical data, what you're watching, everything, where you're setting it, everything is being tracked. It's insanely creepy. You're absolutely right.
And there was a picture that was circulating around. I don't know, time ago that Mark Zuckerberg has his camera and mic covered with the tape, if you remember that picture.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
It came in around the same. It would start circulating around the same time when WhatsApp policies came around. So it was not the best thing.
yeah. So imagine that that's the reason. He knows exactly what kind of, shit goes
Right.
around. So I would advise people just to do that.
I mean, yeah, it's good practice in general anyway. Like especially people, not only what do you call the day to day, even people who use corporate computers or specific company computers. If you don't have the need, just cover the camera.
Hmm.
Like it could be a glitch, it could be anything. Why do you want to risk? You could be doing all sorts of stupid things. Just cover it.
Some of the laptops nowadays come with that. Actually, my laptop has this webcam kill switch.
It's so funny. Like I used to work in tech support back at my university. So I used to see computer science professors like these guys are PhDs and they've been teaching for 20 years. They are coming up to tech support. I don't know. I muted my mic. I can't unmute it. I stuff like that. So it was really funny to see that.
Not only funny, I think that was one of the problems I had with these professors in general because they were really good at their topics.
Mhm.
Okay, but not outside of that. I
Right.
mean, they were
Exactly.
not diverse in terms of the IT, and IT or technology is so vast. You can have a
Exactly.
look at this. For example, this virtual new game that is out,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Earth 2.
R2.io. Yes. It's a very interesting idea. Very,
What
very
what
interesting.
a concept, isn't it? But still a
It really is.
concept. That's one thing I want to make sure.
Right. I mean, to some extent, it's a bit more than a concept, but yeah, it's something that is in continuously in progress. They have something of a prototype that is going on, but they're still continually trying to improve it.
But okay, first let's discuss what is Earth 2. Tell me what is
Okay.
Earth 2.
So a very, very quick overview for those of you who don't know. So Earth 2.0 is an online game, which gives you a complete map. It's a complete virtual version of the real world. So basically, whatever we see in the real world, the countries, streets, everything, it takes the exact same model of it, street by street, country by country, and takes that exact map and it gives you that virtually. Within that game, what you can do is you can buy land, you can sell land, you can start businesses, you can sell businesses, and just like how real estate works in real life, where you buy something and if
Yeah.
more people buy stuff around you, the value goes up. Exactly same thing happens here. What so as someone who has been gaming for the longest time, what's your take on a concept like this, which is incentivizing because obviously games have different levels and stuff that you play for, but here actual cash is involved. So
Six
how do you take
games
this?
like SimCity, if you have never
Mhm.
played, you might have heard about it. But GTA,
Definitely,
might have played it, isn't it?
of course,
It's quite a fun game, isn't it? You have
yeah.
a real world in it, like you have
Hmm.
cities like Los Angeles, so it can be a possibility. But then
Hmm.
again, this is phase one.
Hmm.
Okay,
That's
it's a
exactly I was going to get to.
mix of virtual reality
Hmm.
and whatever our world is right now.
Exactly.
So, uh, if you have watched Ready Player One,
Hmm.
so you can imagine it can be a possibility, but it seems like it's way too far in the future considering how games are being developed right now.
Hmm.
Cyberpunk took 8 years, but it still had glitches.
Hmm.
So, keeping that in mind, you can only imagine such a complicated game if they wanted to create and go that way. It would take ages for it to come out. That's my only issue with it. Even if it's not a scam, that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
If it's a
Right.
reality, if it's the way they want to go.
Right.
What do you think? If it's a scam or it's a reality?
I mean,
Or is it
it,
really happening what
it's
is
funny
happening?
it's funny you called it scam because like I was going through it a few days ago and like somebody uploaded a 25-minute YouTube video explaining how Earth 2.0 is like a pyramid scheme. It's a complete scam where one person just gets the other person and they get more people you hire. So in this version of hiring is basically referral code. So if I am using your referral code, I'm getting benefit and you're getting benefit because of that. So that's sort of like the pyramid version of it. Anyway, that apart, I don't think personally that it's a pyramid scheme or it's any kind of a scam. It makes sense. Like they're trying to incentivize the game, obviously trying to make it more engaging. But at the same time, for me, more than technology, the idea is extremely fascinating and the kind of potential it can have. So for example, one of the things that they're trying to work towards is right now you can just buy land, but in the future, in this virtual world, you can start businesses. Your business can fail. Your business can also succeed. If it succeeds, it would increase the
I
value
think
of the
there are
property.
taxes also, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, so they're trying to implement everything of life, of real life, into that. So basically, it's supposed to be towards the end an exact what do you call that? A digital copy of the real world, but their ideology behind it is to make it better.
So
How that
which
better?
is what is so complicated. That's what I'm trying to
Mhm.
say. I mean, how complicated it is to create a game that copies the whole world rather than
Right.
pieces of it.
That is true, but at the same time, see what and again, this is a very, very illiterate, non-gaming perspective to it from a technological perspective. So Cyberpunk, you said, took 8 years, right?
Yeah.
But the technology, the rate at which technology has grown in the past 8 years, that's different. The level of what do you call that accuracy we have in terms of AI and game development today is far superior than what we had 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I assume like that is something which would I would not say it's far, far, far in the future. It is something that would take time, but
But
still
we are way far behind in terms of AR and VR. We have just started that.
true, absolutely true. Yes. So
So
that is
in
something
that
which might take
terms,
time.
still this will take a lot of
Hmm.
time. For
I mean,
me,
if you're
it will
comparing it
take
to
approximately 10 years easy.
right, if you're comparing to Ready Player One, obviously that was a whole different level. A lot of people are also comparing it to The Matrix or Ready Player One. So
Yeah.
these are extremely high level technology that I think it would be much quicker than what it took to some of the previous games.
Now, for the final question is that would you like to invest in this kind of?
Dude, you're kidding? I'm already thinking about my investment strategies and where I want to do it. I mean, let's just say if they introduce businesses in it, I want to do virtual businesses. I want to have properties all over the
Virtual
world.
economy?
Some in Australia, some in Canada, then probably diversifying. And another thing, so they're also, again, these are different rumors, but they're also talking about you could buy an oil field. So you can probably buy land in Saudi Arabia, in virtual Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia
let's
or
take
virtual
that
Dubai,
back.
and you can start mining oil from there.
Yeah, so yeah, it's all in the air. It's a
It's
concept
yes,
still.
these are all concepts, but I am really fascinated and excited about the potential of this. Not
But
even if
even though it's a concept, the thing
mhm,
is that people are still making money within phase one,
exactly
which is
because
what
they
is fascinating here.
precisely. I think up until like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, the highest that a person has made was around $25,000, which is a big chunk. Which is a big chunk.
Yeah. So, yep, technically you can make money, but it's
Hmm.
also something that you should be aware of that it's a high risk investment.
Exactly.
Some Redditors have reported that they haven't got anything back. It's not something like Bitcoin, so don't compare it with that.
No, no, of course. And this is more community engagement. Only if enough people are involved in
Community
it.
engagement, and there is only one party behind it.
Mhm.
While
Exactly.
Bitcoin is decentralized,
Exactly.
it's more transparent, there's more transactions histories and stuff. Everything is done not by one team, for example. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Hmm.
But two is behind, there's a team behind it. It's a virtual
Exactly.
economy.
One
If they
specific group.
disappear, everything disappears.
Exactly.
So on you guys.
They're basically
Whoever
saying we
wants
are
to
not
invest.
responsible.
Yeah, exactly. We are not responsible. I'm personally not going to invest anytime soon. Only because
Okay.
I believe that I need to see phase two before I do that.
I mean, but see, it might not be. So, for example, if you just spend $30 on it, right, and just forget about it for 4 or 5 years, or like 3 years. That's what happened with Bitcoin. A lot of people bought like Bitcoins when they were $30 per piece or $40 per piece. Look where they are now. I remember you sold your bitcoins in the past. Maybe this is your second option.
Again, we talking about investments. Let's talk
Yes,
about the most common one nowadays, which is the bloody
NFTs.
NFTs, the
Yes,
non-fungible tokens.
yes.
The arts that are being sold for $6 million, the tweet that are being sold for again $1 million.
Hmm.
Explain me what is NFT?
Well, I wish it was only art, to be honest. Like the kind of stuff that has been being sold right now. Anyway, okay. It's a non-fungible device for anyone who doesn't know. So non-fungible basically
Non-fungible
mean
token.
non-fungible token. My apologies. So non-fungible token, non-fungible basically means unique. So for example, like we are talking about Bitcoins. So Bitcoins are something which are not unique. So if you had five Bitcoins in the past, you sold them, you bought five more, you have the exact same value. But
Hmm.
non-fungible means that if you had one specific art that you have, nobody in the world can have that same copy. I can make 100 copies of that, but none of them would be original. A simple way,
What do you mean by original?
that's what I'm getting. So very simple ways. Mona Lisa is one of the most famous paintings in the world.
Yeah.
There are thousands of copies that you can find everywhere in the world, but there's only one Mona Lisa, and there's only one true owner of it, right? So that's what NFTs are supposed to be. They're supposed to give it's a certificate of the genuineness or originality of something. That's what an
So,
NFT is.
so that's where I get confused, or that's where I do not understand this whole NFT thing,
Mhm.
because all these are supposed to be digital art or
Tokens,
digital tweet or everything digital. There's nothing
right?
a physical copy of anything.
Well,
In
that
some
is also actually in the
cases,
works.
say in some cases there are. I think there was one music artist that tried to sell the digital and physical copy, but
Mhm.
nonetheless, most of them
Mhm.
are digital.
For the most
And
part, right now, yes.
yeah, so digital art will have that token attached to it.
Hmm.
Right.
Right.
I make a copy of it.
Hmm.
It's a JPG image,
JPEGs,
right?
yes.
Yeah, the normal image. I mean,
Hmm.
today if we take a screenshot and
Hmm.
we do NFT of it, once
Right.
it's sold, anyone can have that stupid screenshot, isn't it?
Hmm.
What's the point? What's the point of
Well,
me spending $6 million on that stupid screenshot?
you see, that's why you don't have an NFT or you're not spending 6 million on it. But I think it really depends on how you're seeing it. If you are a content creator or an artist, it's a very good thing for you. Because, for example, you compose music or you do something, and very easily somebody can rip it off, right? But if you have an NFT, there's actually an option where you can add royalty to it. For example, I sold you something. I enable that option. So when you would sell it to somebody else, the profit you would make, I'll get a cut out of it. So
Around
whenever
15%, isn't it? Yeah.
you can do different. You can do 10%, 15%. It's like in denominations of five. You can
Okay.
do that. So as an artist, it's a very important thing. As a collector, for example, if you're someone who collects digital arts, not the Gucci ghost or that kind of stuff, but like actual art.
Oh yeah, I saw the Gucci ghost
Yeah,
and the
the three
neon
hundred
cat.
thousand dollar Gucci ghost. Anyway, so if it's proper art and you collect them in the future, when the value increases, you can always sell them. So you remember back, I think it was like our primary school days, middle school days, grade 4, 5, 6, when Pokemon cards were everything.
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
used to have them. If you had a specific card, like you were the boss in the class and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is just like that, but obviously it has more value to it now
Even
because
baseball
now,
cards are very famous in US, I guess something like that, isn't it?
yes. So there is something called TopShot, where what they're doing is instead of cards, they're sending you moments. So a specific basketball player like LeBron James doing a very famous shot, that 30-second clip is a moment. You can make many copies of it, but you owning it,
Yep.
and especially this is something you would relate to more than I would because you understand social media a lot more than I do.
Hmm.
It's as a social media perspective, it's a lot about clout, show off. So you can show off that you have this
Bragging
NFT card.
rights.
Basically, it gives you the bragging rights. So that as a collector or someone who likes to popularize stuff on social media, this is something you can use to show off. Another thing that's in the works actually is that all these big brands, Gucci and all these, are working on stuff where you can buy their NFTs, their digital bags. You would not own a real bag in real life, but you would have a digital bag which you can show in your Instagram pictures.
Okay, so
So
what's the point of that bag if a person
flex.
cannot store anything in it?
What's the point of taking photos of your food? I still don't get it. People do it. It's all about showing off. I mean, as an artist, it has immense value, but if you're not a collector or not someone who cares about, like, who doesn't have a monetary value for it, you will just buy it and you have bragging rights to it, for the most part.
Funny thing is that billionaires are taking advantage of it.
Hmm. Obviously, it's a brilliant idea, especially in the current social media where it's all about clout and showing off and bragging rights. It's a brilliant idea. I'm not surprised at all.
Great for
Another
artists, but like, yeah, go
Exactly.
on.
Another thing that you would really like is because you really love shoes and Nike, for example. So Nike recently patented something called CyberKicks. It's their
Uh,
way of NFTing their shoes. So it's not out yet, but in the future, you can actually show that your shoe is an original by showing the NFT behind it.
but I cannot have the shoe.
No, no, you would have the shoe. No, it's not the Gucci way. You would have the physical shoe, but it would have a token with it.
So if I want to sell the shoe, I
Uh-huh.
have to sell it through NFT. I can't sell it to, like, for example, Marketplace or eBay.
I mean, you can still sell it. Obviously, it would be hard to do it through eBay or different websites, but this just gives you a certificate of originality, or like original card, that this is the original product. Because one of the biggest problems with digital content is of any kind. It could be movies, music, anything. It's very hard. It's very easy to make copies of it, and it's very hard to prove that this is genuine and this is not genuine. So
Yeah.
this, in terms of that, as in anybody who's a content creator, would can find it very useful. So it's a very useful tool for them. But obviously, when social media comes into something, then we have crypto kitties and Gucci ghosts. So
You know what? I remember this South Park episode. I don't know how many people watch South Park, but like the South Park episode was like, okay, someone from space crashed
mhm.
onto land.
Okay,
Okay, it was an alien, but the alien had cash. Okay,
okay.
he called it
Alien had
he
cash.
yeah. So he
Okay,
called the cash space cash.
okay.
The UFO or whatever landed on US soil, obviously, since there's no other country UFO
Hmm.
lands. So
Hmm.
the the leader of the leaders of the world were deciding who will get the space cash. Okay.
Okay. So
Now the
alien can go to hell, but they were concerned about space cash. Okay.
yeah, the alien died. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
That's what.
alien died. So they were worried about the space cash. So the end of the episode was really good. I really liked the end of the episode. It said that because alien comes back to life because it was a fake death, and they were saying that they were just testing human intelligence capability,
Hmm.
and they said that the space cache has only value what you decided on Earth. So it did not have any value, but every leader wanted it because a space cache is
Of course.
invaluable.
So that increased the value of it.
That increases the value of it, but humans decide what's the value of it, how rare it is. It's quite funny, man, but
It
it's
is.
for
Maybe we should
NFT.
think about NFTing one of our episodes.
Yeah. It has to be damn special. I don't want to sell a neon cat to someone.
No, 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 no. I mean, something proper. Oh, yeah, we're not selling crypto kitties or anything. No.
So I've heard Ethereum is behind this whole NFT
Yes,
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Ethereum blockchain is the blockchain. That's the technology behind it. A lot of other blockchain technologies are also coming up with their own NFTs, but
Hmm.
the Ethereum one is the most famous one, and that's the one everybody has been using.
So some of the artists have been saying that because it uses Ethereum and which
Hmm.
requires a lot of electricity to mine, so it's,
Hmm.
similar to Bitcoin. We know
Right.
Bitcoin for a fact takes approximately the size of Argentina, the amount of
Hmm.
electricity it uses to mine,
Right.
right? So Ethereum has a similar problem.
Mhm.
But what do you think about that? Would that be an issue or not?
I mean, that is a very valid issue in general, like regardless of us using NFTs or not. Mining or like usage, any kind of hardware usage is causing a lot of energy problem. And I think that's where uh, it gives opportunities for different startup companies to come with more creative solutions. But yeah, 100%, it is a very valid problem. And I know some companies like NVIDIA and like a bunch of different companies are trying to do whatever in their capacity to come up with more smart processors and graphic cards, which can help in mining, but also minimize the electric usage. It's
Hmm.
still a big thing that has to be solved, but yeah, it's something that,
I think that's the only thing that is creating the hurdle in terms of like artist morality, if you want to use that word.
I mean, that also depends if you care about it, right? A lot of people don't care about it,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you talk about this climate change and stuff, that's one of the concerns that comes up. But
right?
if you really do not care, then
Mhm.
earn that $1 million.
I mean, and this is something like a lot of artists, as you said, a lot of artists have already started thinking about releasing their stuff and attaching NFTs to it because it's more valuable for them. So if we create something today and that episode is every time that episode is watched by someone, we get a cut out of it, or whatever, every time it's sold to someone else. So it's a good way of getting compensated for whatever content you're creating.
Also, okay, so for example, if this really becomes a mainstream thing, because this is a risky investment still.
Mhm.
Okay, we don't know
100%.
where it will go in
Right.
the future too. But if it becomes a mainstream thing, or it can go either way, boom or bust.
Hmm.
Okay, or it will become a mainstream thing and it will last
Right.
forever.
Hmm.
So, for example, if artists are releasing music and the music appears on Spotify, do you think they will sell NFT to Spotify, or some other buyer will just get through it, and how will it appear on Spotify again? That's the question.
I mean, it one of the models that I can think of right now is obviously the royalty model of it. So the NFT would be sold to platforms like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, but the royalty cut that they would get every time somebody listens to it or downloads it,
Hmm.
that cut would go towards the artist. Obviously, the different models might come into play as well because we
Hmm.
saw how Spotify, how any kind of streaming music has completely changed the music industry. But even in the existing model, NFT is not a bad idea, especially for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
artist.
it's quite interesting because we'll see. Um, it will change the dynamics of art in general.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, Gucci goes is trending, so you can only imagine that. The only problem is that the branded stuff will just be too braggy without any physical item to be shown, or it's just
Right.
a bloody picture. I don't get it. I don't get it.
See, I don't get half of the social media, so believe me, my guess is as good as yours.
So yeah, it's something that is developing. We will know what happens in the future. I think that's it for today. What do you think?
Yep, I think this is a good stopping point. Really hope you guys like this episode. If you did, do let us know in the comment section. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, do let us
Google
know.
Podcast too. We are
Google
now on Google
Podcasts.
Podcasts.
Yes, forgot about that. So if you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, do let us know on our Instagram page at ngt.007. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye.
Goodbye.